It goes beyond saying it, because that's why we're saying it should also be seen to be effective, and it should also not be seen to be selective, because the complaints by Nigerians, especially close watchers, I mean, it doesn't do us any good to see Secretary Kerry coming all the way to tell us to follow the rules. We know what to do. Why shouldn't we do them?
You are jumping into Kerry's visit, isn't it? John Kerry, the Secretary of State of the United States of America.
No, it's still within the same topic.
Yeah, I agree with you. I followed the visit. On behalf of the people of Nigeria, I thank John Kerry and then his principal, Barack Obama. Now, what I'll say is this. Number one, there was no notice that John Kerry was coming to Nigeria. He came, he met with the presidential candidates. We don't have the bulk of what they discussed, but at least they met. And I want to assume that it's got to do with our nascent democracy. Now, like I said, there was no notice. You know, some of us didn't know that John Kerry was appearing. He came, he discussed, met, you know, even INEC. And at the end of the day, he did not address a world press conference. So that is, you know, when it comes to the United States of America, that is unusual. Now, the questions, you know, that...
sorry, a quick correction there. He did. He did
address
a
world press conference.
Yes, and there was a question and answer session with the press.
Okay, I apologize to John Kerry with immediate effect. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. There are questions, you know, that we need to ask. One, did he visit Nigeria out of genuine concern? Two, did he come to effect the policing program of United States of America? Because they always say that they are the policeman of the entire world. Three, what is the strategic interest of United States of America in this election and in days to come or years to come? I still think, you said he addressed the press world conference. I think some journalists should have taken it upon themselves to seek clarification on this issue. In a situation where some years ago, whether it was an ex-ambassador or one of the officials, wrote a book and said, by 2015, Nigeria will go into pieces. Terrible prophecy for my country. But then, if they have this mindset and you are visiting us, it's really a belated visit.
Even though they said there's no such book, that they didn't write any such book or make any such prediction.
Well,
but
let us, that's an issue for another day. But the important thing is that what is the strategic interest of the United States of America? Because I don't want to talk about Boko Haram. It's a sad thing that can bring tears from our eyes. But then we must say it as it is. If you look at the terrorism in the Northeast, what has America done to assist Nigeria? They gave certain reasons why they could not sell weapons to us, including their famous Cobra helicopter. Sorry. They couldn't do that. And, you know, they gave some reasons, out of which I clearly backed out one, in which case they accuse our military of violating people's rights, you know, in the process of war. Some of them were even saying that they might be forced to take some people to ICC, the International Court. So I just, you know, these same people that are accusing our soldiers of war crimes, they are throwing their drone all over the place in the interest of killing Taliban.
I think you're getting the whole argument wrong. I'm saying we always mouth it to ourselves that we know what is right and what we should do as a people towards a peaceful election. And we shouldn't also wait for someone to come all the way to our shores to tell us or remind us. And I'm asking the question, why is it that since we claim to know, we still haven't been able to sheathe the swords and be more circumspect in our words and our actions leading up to this particular election? You just said that in some places bombs have actually gone off. Now, we're not talking about Nigeria's northeast. Some offices have been bombed.
I agree.
Vice versa, irrespective of which party, both parties have been victims of violence.
Yeah.
And we're saying the elections are not here yet. How should we, or what do we do to avert further violence as we move to February 14?
You say, you probably did not pick some of what I was saying. I said, how strict, are the provisions of the electoral, the electoral law and provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? How can we look at these documents and then we look at it dispassionately and have a strategy for pre and post, election?
Do you have any template for such strategies?
Oh, sure. And I've said some of it. We should all come together, especially the leaders, especially those ones that are apolitical. People like the former Secretary General of Commonwealth, Emeka and Yoku. There are so many of them who can come together and save this nation. When they come together and then we look at these documents you're mentioning, the electoral law and the provisions of the electoral law, we can use it to fight violence.
I see quite a number of people tweeting and talking about if we ensure that we have a free, fair and credible elections, that will also go a long way in ensuring that no violence breaks out.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent that, if the election is free and fair, there should be no violence. But in a situation where, you see, we've conducted 5 governorship elections in Nigeria, when APC won Edo State, there was no problem. Oh, this is free and fair, fine. Now, I'm not just criticizing the opposition parties. I am speaking with, a position of advantage, from my vantage position when it comes to political issues like this. Now, after that, we had Anambra. It was won by Abga. Aha, okay, this is not APC. Fire and brimstone. After that, we had Ondo. Labour won that election. Again, Mimiko, blah, blah, blah. We got to Ekiti State. Despite the fact that the loser accepted defeat within 24 hours, his political party, they came up with all sorts of theories that it was rigged.
But there was no violence.
Oh, there was no violence. Simply because the Fauci's victory could not be challenged. It was a landslide. You don't see a landslide and then start fighting. Just if you feel tired when it's a landslide.
So even though they have raised issues about it, but the important thing is that
there was no violence.
They recognized that they had to go to court.
There was violence afterwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
At some point, I do remember that shortly after that, there was some violence, and they had to, order. There was a curfew imposed on the town. There was burning of buildings, tires, roads were blockaded. Okay,
so there was no death was recorded in those cases.
What I can say is this: there will always be some degree of skirmishes, from certain areas, and
but isn't it important to also note that at least parties recognize that they could go to court for any case rather than take the laws into their hands? Because now it looks as if the conversation is changing. People are saying, well, look, there may be that immediate reaction. So if that immediate reaction happens, isn't that some sort of commentary or action saying, look, we may not have as much faith in the judiciary?
I agree with you. And what I prescribed is that when you come with security agents, pre-election, let them hang in the hot beds, areas for some weeks after the election because of certain skirmishes. The thing is this: Nigeria politicians are bad losers. I was about to talk about Osun State election. It was won by APC. Even the governor, Rauf Aregbesola, drove around the town, with a huge crowd, massive crowd. I clapped for them. I was happy. And the president, I think he accepted defeat on behalf of his party within 24 hours. So it was all calm. And the loser, Iola Omishore, he went to court within a week. I think they are still in court. They are still facing the tribunal. I don't think there's any judgment yet, but he took the right step. He didn't ask the youth to start burning houses. As a matter of fact, these people, the people of Osun State, one should respect them. in a situation where the winner, is moving around the state with a massive crowd, and the losers didn't send their own supporters, to start fighting. We must respect where things are done properly. And what I'm saying is this: we have identified the possibility of pre and post-election, escalating the violence. Let us, as I said, sit down, work out strategies, and I already listed some messengers that will carry our strategies and deliver.
All right, that's where we'll have to let it go. Thank you very much indeed for coming on this morning, Dr. Gbenga Omolayole, speaking about what we need to do to ensure at least we have, to a great extent, violence-free elections.